Today's message comes from the heart of some of our choir members. This church has a great heritage of music, as you can see, and not all of us were able to make it here today. The first of our testimonials will be given by Mary Baum.
The choir and music here at St. John encompasses 4 generations in my family. My mother, Mary Babbitt, sang with the choir starting in the late 1950s. She lived 4 houses down, was the first house there in the middle of the wheat field, if you can imagine that. But every Wednesday she faithfully would walk down to choir practice and come every Sunday morning to sing. At that time, the organist was Helen Dressel, and the choir director was an elderly, widowed lady by the name of Mom Ebert. To this day, I don't know her first name. Excuse me. She was Mom Ebert to everyone. She came to the house one day asking if I wanted to join the junior choir. She was trying to set up with the teenagers in the church. She was a brave soul, taking on a bunch of teenagers, but she had at least a dozen of us who would come and sing. I can still recite the Beatitudes from a song we sang, and I always think of the Christmas and Easter music that we sang that meant so much to me at the time. There is one lady that sings in our choir today that was part of that junior choir, and that's Jackie Canterbury, that has sang with the choir all those years. Good job, Jackie. I got married in the church, and my husband transferred from St. Paul's United Church of Christ in Delaware. After the birth of our second daughter, Christy, we were asked to portray the nativity scene while the choir sang on Christmas Eve. I thought, the little Lord Jesus and the crying he makes, I'm going to keep this 4-month-old from not crying. But Leah Horner was our choir director at the time, and as she directed the choir, Christy watched her hands, and she was quiet the whole time. To this day, once in a while, she still reminds us, yeah, but remember, I was baby Jesus. Another Christmas Eve, my husband and I were singing in the choir. The men were in the back row, there was a bunch of them, and the women in front. We wore our choir robes with a stole or collar in front that came to a pointed back. As we were singing, the women heard a lot of commotion in the back row. But, you know, we just kept on singing. Well, Irvin's stove caught fire from one of the candles. The men were patting him on the back with their folders to extinguish the fire. No harm was done. I don't even know if the congregation realized what happened because the show must go on. We didn't miss a beat. But Irv was literally a little hot under the fire. He still jokes today that maybe it was a little divine intervention, saying, maybe you shouldn't sing in the choir anymore. So now that we're older, we're content sitting in the congregation, hearing the inspirational music the choir provides for us. Our daughter, Tammy Hughes, is joining us today, and she will tell about the 3rd and 4th generation of our family that sang in the choirs at the church. I did want to mention that when my sister was moving to Iowa, she was a Sunday school teacher. She handed me the curriculum and said, you take over the class. I was about 20, and then I thought, okay, I'll try it. The class rented what is now the lounge. It was all 5th graders, 10 years old. In the class, there was a young girl by the name of Nancy Warning, now Nancy Eisenhower, our dedicated choir director. I want to thank Nancy and the choir for the beautiful music and inspiration they provide for us. And I'd be amiss if I didn't mention Sharon Banjovic, our choir director, our organist, who always has beautiful music throughout the service. So thank you all, and please keep up the good work.
My grandpa taught me at a young age that church choir was good. Or if we were staying at my grandparents' house and my grandma, Mary Baptist, slipped out to go to choir practice, he would get out the brown sugar and feed it to us. As my mom tells it, my first experience singing or performing in church was in Sunday school when my cousin Kathy Channer wanted to sing a song she had learned in school and sing it out loud. And not wanting to be outdone by my older cousin, I asked Mrs. Bergman if I too could sing a song, and then proceeded to sing a song I just made up off the top of my head. Fortunately, I didn't have long to wait before Karen Hegley encouraged me and my sister to sing with the youth choir. I can't imagine her frustration getting us all ready in our white robes and getting us to file in and be quiet and sit still during the entire second service after singing. Heck, I think it was maybe 5 seconds after we got out of second service that my sister had her choir robe and her pantyhose off and was sprinting down to my grandparents' house. I was about 10 years old when my aunt from Wisconsin gave me the music to Why Me by Chris Christopherson and suggested that I play piano and sing in church. The next year I brought home the music, 2 Little Fishes and 5 Loaves of Bread, from a Bible school I had attended with a neighbor, and encouraged my sister, Christy, and my cousins, Kathy and Andy Channer, to sing harmony. And thus we started singing as an ensemble. Lisa Slater then had a teenage choir and introduced us to wonderful music, such as selections from I Believe in Godspell. Quite the brave soul at that time. Also, it was Lisa who gave me the music that lets to talk to little boys while they're fishing, and encouraged me to get my brother Clay, who I'm not even sure could read at the time, to sing in church. And soon he was singing soprano in our family ensembles. But each year I really enjoy searching through music and listening to church music, trying to find that perfect solo or that perfect ensemble to sing with my siblings and my cousins. And when my cousins married musical spouses, that was just an added bonus. In high school, I sang with a choir, a teenage choir from the Methodist Church across from O'Fallon High School. And then I really enjoyed making friends in the church choir when I was in college. And as an adult, I think I sang under Nancy and Leah and Kim Brush and both of my cousins. But now I enjoy a new generation of musicians. They were young when my daughters were young. I enjoyed singing with both Kate and Rachel, and even with my sister Christy and her 2 sons, Adam and Alex. But now Rachel plays piano solos in church, and I think it was quite a few years ago when my daughter Kate, I guess about 6th grade, signed up to sing in church by herself with her guitar. And I'm thinking, oh no, the whole Mrs. Bergman thing all over again. I didn't know what she was going to sing, but she got up and did a wonderful job, and was even part of a youth band Imago Day, where she played guitar and piano and sang beautifully there as well. Now she's the one singing selections from Godspell, and she rehearses with the brass rail players for their performance in May. But whether it's singing alone, or with my family, or with the choir, or with the congregation, whether it's singing in church, or in vacation Bible school, or Sunday school, or even at Vespers at Camp Du Bois, or whether it's simply listening to my own children, or to the Gateway Quartet, or the Sing for Joy Trio, or even the old records of the Vibrations, rarely do I feel closer to God than when I'm caught up in that perfect song which touches my heart and soul and lifts me beyond my own prayers and praises to God.
Hello. My first recollection of church music occurred right here at St. John's. Probably the same thing that Tammy's did, because I was in Mrs. Bergman's kindergarten class, as was most of the people of my age group or younger. And we were getting ready to present the Christmas pageant. And I'm sure I was typecast. I was the angel. Anyway, I was in my white costume, the sheet that my mom cut a hole in and made it look like an angel. And I had a gold garland halo around my head. And we all stood up here on these very steps and sang "O Little Town of Bethlehem." I never sang in front of people except my family before. We sang all the time, and especially my grandmother and all, but this is the first time it was in front of other people. But what I realized when I looked at everybody's faces was they liked that song, and they liked the words,
and I make the connection between the music, the words, and the congregation. As we sang, I looked, and I actually got a reflection of what we were putting out, and that was the first time I actually made that connection with church music. Whether it is a majestic piece such as the Hallelujah Chorus, or whether it's a poignant piece such as In Remembrance, which I learned from Leah, or if it's a quiet, thoughtful, more contemporary piece like Mary, Did You Know? Church music is the way, in my opinion, we communicate our love and our praise to God, and how God, in turn, touches our souls. I will never take that power of church music for granted, and it's something that I hope to carry on for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Sorry, but I didn't write anything down. If you know me, you know I don't like speaking in front of people. In fact, this morning I was more nervous than I've been in probably 20 years to get up in front of people and sing. My legs shook just like it did when I was a kid, when I sang my first solo here in church. You know, one of my fondest memories as a kid was singing with the youth choir. And a lot of people that followed, Steve Miller, Lincoln King, Lisa Neal, you know, we all grew up together. We were all in the same class at school. Nancy Eisenhower was putting together a kids choir at the time. Around what we put together, we just joined it. And I remember singing the song. I sing a song, sings God. And I want to be one too. Excuse me. For me, music started here. I spent my normal weekend just pile in my truck, hook up with some sound equipment, gather 3 of my friends together, we go on the road and sing at churches. And that's an outreach ministry of this church. When I was in high school, Leah, I still joke about this every so often. They come to me, she says, "We need you in the adult choir." And I said, "Okay." I didn't say okay, I said, "What do I need to do?" And I can remember vividly, and I was telling somebody this the other day, I never was asked to be in anything. It was always just kind of, Leah would come and say, "I need you to sing a solo." I sang my first solo here because she pulled out a piece of music. Nancy and I spent some time together last week picking out a song for this morning. I said, "You know, I've never had to pick a song out to sing because I always had somebody hand me music here. I need you to sing this one." You know, I sang my first song in front of a microphone. You might remember this. It was How Great Thou Art. I'd never sang it before. Leah says, "I need you to sing this." We didn't have a microphone here in church. I didn't even know what to do with it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? But I knew that I was supposed to sing. I can remember sitting about the 4th row back one Sunday morning with my grandma, Izetta Hudson. And I sat down there and I was kind of tickled. So I was going to sit with grandma in church because I hadn't practiced with the choir that week. And grandma turned to me and she was always just kind and caring and positive. And she looks at me and she says, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean, Grandma?" I said, "I'm going to say everything in church today." She said, "You're supposed to be up there." God didn't give you a voice. So listen. You know, I've spent the last 10, 15 years traveling and doing music on weekends, working a job during the week, and singing about Jesus. And it all started here. I sing a song. I sing to God. Patient break, live and work and fall and die. For the love they Lord, the Lord they love and knew. And then I don't be one too. Thank you.